Okay, so this is going to be the walkthrough for the very simple suck pads for the baby carrier. Excuse me. I've got my pre-cut pieces. This is going to be reversible. This orange on one side, the cupcakes on the other. They are about 6 inches wide by about 8 inches tall. Got 2 of those, 2 for my other side, and you need your absorbent layer. Some people use Zorb, some people use flannel. I'm using felt just for this instructional video. And then I have hooped my tearaway. So we're going to start by step 1 is making the flaps that snap together in the back. It's a 2-stop stitch, very quick. There's placement lines if you need them. If not, we are going to go ahead and I will show you how to layer the materials so that when you flip them, they come out right. You're going to want to layer your absorbent layer. If you're doing 2, just layer 1 now. Your material for one side, you want it to face up for your pattern. I'll show you with the pattern side, just to be clear. You want your pattern facing up, and then your material for the other side, you want pattern facing down. Since I'm making reversible, I'm going to go ahead and use the orange facing down. And that way when we flip the wings, the one side's orange, one side's going to be the cupcakes. I'm going to go ahead and stitch this out and get back to you. Okay, so we've stitched them together. Now we're going to pop the hoop off the machine, unhoop it. You're going to cut around your edges and down the side. You want to leave a little extra past the stitch edge on this side just so that we can hook it to the main part of the suck pad in the next hooping. Okay, so I've cut my pieces out. I did leave about 1/2 inch tab on this. We're going to go ahead and flip these. You want your fabric pieces to be where you flip. Don't flip between your fabric and your absorbent layer. And then that way you have one side and then the other side is just orange. Flip this one. And we will pick back up in the next hooping. Okay, for part 2, you're going to need the whole hoop. So there are no real true placement lines for this one. You are going to layer down your absorbent layer again. And then if you're using a pattern, you want that pattern side up. We're going to stitch the first step and pick back up with number 2. Okay, so stop number 2 is a small thin line at the bottom. That's if you want to add ribbons to the bag. Or sorry, not the bag, the suck pads. So what we're going to do is just float our ribbons. You want to fold your ribbon in half like this. You can do a double layer, add another ribbon over. That's totally up to you and your design choices. We are just going to float them onto the bag. You want the loop part, the closed part, facing up. And I apologize, I keep calling this a bag. I normally make bags. You want the loop part into the body of the suck pad. And then we will stitch this step and pick back up. Okay, so with our ribbons tacked down now, you can go ahead and remove your tape. And next, we are going to layer the rest of the pieces and stitch the final step. So it helps if you lay out your wings, your flaps, whatever you'd like to call them, the way you want them to look on your finished product, and then flip them over. You want this edge to catch this stitch line. Line it up as best as you can. And then we will tack that down. You can pin it, you can tape it, whatever works best for you. Do the same for the other side. You want that outside stitch line to catch this edge. It's going to leave an opening up at the top so that you can flip your suck pads right side out, and then we can close that up with a ladder stitch or any type of invisible stitch at the end. Alright, so I've got these pinned down. It is a bit dense, so if you have the option to turn the speed of your machine down, I would definitely do that. And you're going to layer your final piece of fabric face down so that the right side is showing when we do flip it in a few minutes. I'm going to stitch this step and pick back up after that. Okay, so here we are with the final product. You've got this. We're going to remove all the tear away if possible, just so that there's no extra stabilizers in that aren't really needed. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out all my pins, just make sure they don't get stuck in there. And we're going to trim the edges. At the top here, where there's an opening, you're going to flip the bag. But you want to leave a tab above that so that it can flip inside and you can sew it shut, and the suck pads will be completely seamless. Okay, so here we are. We've got the bag trimmed out, left the tab up top so that when we flip it, we do have extra fabric to grab onto and sew it closed. Okay, so I've started flipping this now through the hole in the top. I'm going to go ahead and finish. And your finished product will look like this. You've got your seam here from sewing on this flap and this flap. Your opening at the top, we will fold those two tabs in that you left when you cut and just do a quick stitch on that and get it shut. You add snap tabs here, snap tabs here, that way your finished suck pad can be like this, or you can flip it and have your reverse side as well. The ribbons at the bottom, I know my girls loved playing with the little ribbons. And that's it.